Welcome to Tantrum House Studio D. I'm Kevin Delp.
And I'm Melissa Delp.
Today we're talking about The King's Abbey by Breaking Games. The King's Abbey is a 1 to 5 player dice allocation and resource management game. Now, the game usually lasts 2 to 3 hours, but there is a variant for a shorter game.
In the King's Abbey, each player is trying to build the best abbey and earn the most victory points. You'll need buildings in your abbey, you'll need peasants to work those buildings and even defend your complex. You'll need money, you'll need resources, and if that sounds like a lot of things, it actually is. Take a look at the components.
There's the main game board. Each player has their own board. There's lots of tokens, lots of cards, and lots of cubes. There's coins, and then there's dice for all the players.
So as you can see, this game comes with a lot of stuff. Now, we won't be covering every single thing in the game. We'll give you a little bit of an overview and give you our thoughts. The game is normally played over 7 rounds, and each round has 12 phases. Thankfully, there are player aids to walk you through the phases. In phase 1, the players roll their dice. In the second phase, you draw an event card for the round. In phase 3, you actually get to start placing your dice, but only on your Abbey board and Crusade cards. Players will do this simultaneously. You can play 1s, 2s, and 3s to add peasants to the pews. You'll need them later to work in your buildings and defend your Abbey and to go on crusades. 4, 5s, and 6s can be used to train your clergy. As your clergy level rises, you'll unlock some great benefits.
During this phase, you can also go on a crusade to gain victory points and valuable rewards. You have to send a peasant on the crusade, and then you can add dice. All the dice on the card have to be the same value. If you don't have enough matching dice, you can place what you do have, but they will remain on the card for multiple rounds until you can complete the crusade. You can also try and get another player to help you on the crusade by having them send one of their peasants on your crusade and lend matching dice to help complete it. It's up to both of you how to split the rewards, but these rewards aren't collected until phase 11.
During phase 4, players purchase building cards. The cost is shown on the board. Most buildings have an immediate reward, so you could gain money or resources when you purchase one of them. Then, in phase 5, players in turn order place any dice they have left on the main game board to get resources.
In phase 6, you get to move your peasants forward. Usually it's just one peasant, one space. But if you've advanced your clergy, you have more moves. The ultimate goal is to have your peasants reach the baptistry. Only baptized peasants can be moved to buildings and activate the building's powers.
Then in phase 7, players simultaneously build as many buildings as they can with the resources they have. This is where you can get a lot of points. You can also build walls and train archers. Archers don't need to be baptized in order to be utilized in the towers.
In phase 8, players who have gardens and farms may be able to get more resources, and then everybody has to feed their peasants that are on their abbey.
Yeah,
now,
not the ones on the crusades.
Yeah, the ones who run the crusades, it would take way too much money and time and resources to try and get them food all the way out to the crusades. You just let them fend for themselves.
During phase 9, players compare their defense value to the level of the darkness marker. If you don't have enough shields to at least equal the darkness value, you lose a peasant and 2 points for each defense you're missing.
The next 2 phases, 10 and 11, are good. You gain income, 1 coin for each peasant in your abbey. Then you collect rewards for completed crusades. Except the points. Those will be added at the end of the game. Before moving on to the next phase, you have the opportunity to purchase a new crusade card.
We finally made it to the last phase of the round. You get all your dice back, unless they are still working on a crusade card. You reset for the round, including refilling the building market, and you check to make sure you have 3 or fewer of each resource.
Wow, now you know how to play the game. Well, you got to know most of the game. We haven't explained everything, but once you know how to play one round, all the other rounds are exactly the same. So after the 7th round, you gather up all your points and see who wins.
Yeah, like Kevin said, we didn't explain everything. There's abilities that you can unlock with your buildings. There are special tokens you can use to get more resources and other benefits. You even have the option to make some trades with your resources. And all of those things will give you more options for the choices that you make during the game.
Yeah, I like the tension that when you're placing dice, how many dice am I placing on my Abbey, on the Crusades, on the game board? And that happens through different phases of the game. So, like, how many do I put in my Abbey? I may need to keep some for the game board later to get those resources. But if I don't put enough dice on my Abbey, then I'm not going to be able to collect income because I need income to buy buildings. I like all those pushes and pulls for the dice.
Right, like Kevin was saying, decisions you make in earlier phases will affect your later phases in the game. One of the good things, though, is that a slight miscalculation earlier on is not going to completely ruin your game.
I'd agree.
There are those abilities in the buildings and other benefits you can get that will give you more flexibility and options as you move forward.
The art and design works well for this game. I like that there are spaces for everything. One thing that we've done is upgraded the resources instead of using the discs. I wish that the building cards could have been bigger, but I know that would have made the player boards and main board even bigger, and that's not really practical.
I do have one critique with the game, and that is with the rulebook. It is understandable, but it's pretty dense and hard to get through. I think with better layout and graphic design, they could have made it much easier for people to quickly absorb the information. Now, if you don't like reading rulebooks, there are some how to play videos and even some playthrough videos that you can watch instead.
Yeah, so if you like medium weight strategy board games or dice allocation games like Kingsburg, then check out The King's Abbey by Breaking Games.